13 Best Small Trees for Patios. A chaste tree is a Mediterranean and Asian native with multiple trunks that can be trained to make a nice shade tree. Leaves of the chaste are aromatic, and it produces small, fragrant flowers on spikes during the summer and fall. Varieties Silver Spire and Alba have white blossoms while Latifolia and Rosea have pink flowers. This tree can also be pruned into a shrub. Annual pruning during the late winter is recommended to maintain its shape. Moreover, the tree is heat tolerant and resistant to oak root fungus. Kumquat trees can be grown in the ground or in pots. In the ground, they can grow to a mature size of 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide. Container-grown trees are generally much smaller. Kumquats have beautiful dark green leaves and pretty orange flowers that turn into tangy edible fruit. Potted kumquats make great patio accents with their sweet-smelling blooms and bright orange fruits. They must be moved indoors for the winter in zones 8 and below. Moreover, it's recommended to repot them every 2 to 3 years into a slightly larger container. Also, fertilize them throughout the growing season. Sweet bay is a small, slender evergreen with a conical form. Its foliage is dark green and highly aromatic. The leaves are the same bay leaves that are used in many types of cooking. A good choice for containers on decks or patios, it can be pruned into a topiary or hedge. Planted in the garden, it is drought tolerant, but you should water it during prolonged dry spells. Also, while this plant likes a lot of light, protect your tree from hot afternoon sun during the warmest months of the year. Crepe myrtle trees or shrubs are well known in the southern United States for their showy pinkish blooms, gorgeous bark, and beautiful fall foliage. You can grow full-size varieties in large containers. They will reach about 10 feet tall. There are also many smaller trees, such as Acoma, Yuma, Zuni, Catawba, Comanche, Hopi, Centennial, Chica Pink, Chica Red, Glendora White, Peppermint Lace, Pink Velour, Seminole, and White Chocolate varieties. Avoid excessive fertilization, as this can promote leaf growth over blooming. Also, extensive pruning usually isn't necessary, though you can prune for shape if you wish in the early spring. Besides being absolutely gorgeous, Wisteria can be trained as a vine, shrub, or small tree. To train it as a tree, remove all but one stem, and secure that stem by tying it to a stake. When it reaches the desired height, prune or pinch the branch tips to force more branching. Wisteria can also be grown to cover an arbor or pergola. The two common species are Chinese Wisteria, Wisteria sinensis, and Japanese Wisteria, W. floribunda. Fertilizer usually isn't necessary unless you have poor soil, but you can add a layer of compost to promote blooming and healthy growth. Japanese maple trees are naturally small, up to about 15 feet tall, and work well in the ground or in containers. Just be ready to repot your tree into a larger container every other year or so. The best varieties of Japanese maples for containers are the kinds with weeping branches and finely cut, thread-like leaves. This includes the Dissectum, Red Dragon, Burgundy Lace, Crimson Queen, Butterfly, and Makawa Yotsuba varieties. Japanese maples require little pruning. Remove dead, diseased, or damaged branches as you spot them, and prune for shape if you wish. Ficus trees can grow to heights of 50 feet or more in the wild, but in the home environment they are most commonly grown as houseplants. This small tree's bright green leaves and twisty, arching branches make it an eye-catching feature in any location. Ficus benjamina, or weeping fig, makes a versatile patio plant that transitions easily from indoors to outdoors. It is hardy only to zone 10 but can be brought outside in cold winter climates after the threat of spring frost has passed. Your ficus will benefit from monthly fertilization during the growing season, but then you can back off the fertilizer in the winter. The striking silhouettes of palm trees are perfect for instantly adding a look of the tropics to your patio or deck. In addition to European fan palms, there are several other species suitable for small spaces, including the pygmy date palm, Phoenix robelinii, paradise palm, Howea forsteriana, lady palm, Rapis excelsa, Chinese fan palm, Livistona chinensis, and windmill palm, Trachycarpus fortunae. Fertilize your palm throughout the growing season, and prune off dead or diseased portions as you spot them. Also, be sure not to overwater, as this can kill a palm. Ornamental crabapple plants are admired more for their brief but lovely display of red, pink, or white flowers than for their edible fruits. The smallest varieties can be planted in containers while other types can be trained against a wall or fence as an espalier. Also known as flowering crabapple trees, the varieties suitable for large containers include Centurion, Indian Magic, Japanese M, Floribunda, and Sargent M, Sargentii. Crabapple trees are somewhat drought-tolerant once they're mature, but don't let their soil dry out. If there is a stretch without rain, especially during warmer months, water your tree. Also, they generally require little pruning outside of removing dead, damaged, or diseased branches. Small, flowering Prunus trees are variously called cherry or plum trees. They typically have dark purple foliage, as well as white, pink, or red flowers, depending on the variety. They are suitable for large containers or raised beds. Some of these trees are susceptible to insect issues and fungal diseases. So prune your tree to slightly thin the branches and improve air circulation, which can help to prevent these problems. Because pines are evergreen, they give you something green to look at on your patio throughout the year. Plus, they maintain some shade and privacy year-round. With frequent pruning, you can keep a pine small if you wish. Several species are suitable for patios or decks, including lacebark pine, Pinus bungina, evergreen Swiss stone pine, Pinus chembra, and evergreen Japanese red pine, Pinus densiflora. In large containers, consider growing evergreen mugo pine, Pinus mugo, or evergreen Japanese black pine, Pinus thunbergiana. Pine trees generally require little care. Water your tree during prolonged dry spells, and fertilize annually if your soil is poor. The smoke tree, also referred to as the smoke bush, is known for its stunning dark reddish-purple leaves and silky hairs that resemble puffs of smoke. It can be grown in a large container or near a deck or patio. The smoke effect is created by the fluffy hairs that follow the tree's insignificant flowers in the spring. The hairs turn pink and then purple as summer progresses. Lightly prune the tree as needed in the early spring for the best blooming. You will need at least 2 pear trees for optimal cross-pollination and fruit. Alternatively, choose Anjou or Bartlett if you have room for only 1 tree, as these varieties are able to pollinate themselves to some degree. Other suitable varieties for patio areas include snow pear, Pyrus nivalis, Manchurian pear, Pyrus usuriensis, Edgedale pear, FLXP betulifolia, Glenn's form, Pyrus caleriana, Glenn's form, and Jack flowering pear, Pyrus caleriana, Jasm. Pear trees typically can tolerate wet soil, though you must ensure that your tree has good drainage. The trees are susceptible to a disease called fire blight, so it's important to promptly prune off infected portions to help stop the spread. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.